Welcome to YouShallPodcast! And today we are talking about, it's not today, it's never today. Well, it's today somewhere, I guess. I'm just rambling for no reason at all. Ghost in the Shell. So what did you guys think? Charles, what did you think?
So first, we're talking about the live-action movie, huh? To be
the remake of the anime version from 1995. Yes.
Yeah, imagine, like we say like Ghost in the Shell, you say, yeah, I really, I didn't like it, I hated it, or blah blah blah, and people think, yeah, he's talking about the anime, this motherfucker. No, we're talking about the live-action movie for now.
Why did you just complicate that so much? It's 2017. It's
yeah, but maybe people will be listening to this in 17 years, and they'd like some context about.
Wow, if this is the hyperbola of future entertainment, seriously, there's like
just
Star
quit.
Wars 18.
Just quit.
No. Listen, you want to listen to YouShallPodcast number 8? That's fucking gold. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Answer the question,
All right,
please, Charles.
I enjoyed it.
2017. Thank you for your input there. And what did you think?
I enjoyed it.
Leo, what did you think?
I'd like to say is that as a fan of the 1995 Ghost in the Shell, I have to say this really satisfied me. I didn't expect it to, but it did.
And that's what she said.
That's right. And as far as Hollywood goes, interpreting things that are from Asian countries, they did a bloody great job.
See, I haven't seen the original, so how true to the original what is it?
There's plenty of complaints, but I have to say that as far as the storyline goes, they really didn't budge all too much.
Is your major complaint the fact that Scarlett Johansson's nipples are never shown at any stage?
I'm not trying to be a pervert here,
Cruel.
but yes, that is a massive complaint. That's like, don't fuck with the original.
The original. So in the original, when she is,
we need violence.
When she's in combat mode, she's completely naked. Which I've got to say, if I was an enemy that she was confronting, and a naked Scarlett Johansson came through the door, the last thing I want to do is pull that trigger.
She's invisible.
Yeah, it's an amazing defense mechanism.
It is. It is. It's actually a brilliant mechanism. So, but in the original, the character, the Major, is completely butt naked and anatomically correct.
Very anatomically correct.
Yeah.
But I believe that also made a great contrast to how cold she is and the violence, because she's this beautiful woman, and it's pure as
So
form.
like my ex. Well, I was wondering why I was crying through this film. Like, Charles, I'm going to give you another go. What did you think of the film, Charles?
I've enjoyed it.
Excellent.
And because from the original movie there were some scenes especially that I really remembered fondly, that were like very intense, and that I remember when I've seen The Matrix, I felt the influence of this movie. I knew before from interview that they used Ghost in the Shell to sell the project for The Matrix, And then when I've seen The Matrix, I've seen which scenes, been used to sell the product. And the way they managed to redo it as a live-action movie, it looks very, very good. It's very nice, So this part, some of the scenes, definitely brought me back in a very nice visual way, But then the story is true to the original one, but I don't think the way it's done makes you think as deep as what the original anime
so there's
gets you.
philosophy,
That's the best way to say it.
a philosophy in the original Ghost in the Shell that's lost in the remake.
Yeah, because it's
that's how it felt.
an easy watching. They make an easy to watch
Scarlett
version.
Johansson in a bodysuit. How's that not going to be easy watching?
No, there's she gets the hard part.
She got the hard part right. Yeah.
But then it's easy to it makes it easy to but you're missing something.
I'm really glad you brought up The Matrix, because I did think about watching the original first, and I thought no, because I knew that you would have watched it for sure. I think you mentioned it before we did, and then I wanted to absorb this movie as it was, rather than be influenced by what I'd seen previously. And so what I initially got is I thought, okay, it's very much borrowing from Blade Runner. I had a very, very strong connection with Blade Runner, and then The Matrix. Once the connecting into the for want of a better word, a matrix, but there is this online community that's feeding off humans so it can be it's off the radar, and it's really I don't want to no spoilers here, but so the first half of the movie, almost 2/3, I guess, would have been taking significant chunks from Blade Runner, and then I thought The Matrix, and I realized afterwards when I googled it, is that The Matrix came out 4 years later. So obviously this was an influence to The Matrix, which was one of my favorite series.
Yeah. The Wachowskis actually speak about Ghost of the Shell specifically
Sure.
being a main influence.
But the last third of the film I felt was really, really a total recall kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Which predates, I think it would be mid-80s from memory. So I think there's a lot of borrowing from that film, and then obviously it's evolved into the Matrix series later. But what the controversy I felt for the film is what's called whitewashing, where and I read about this prior to the film being released. Clearly, the Major is supposed to be an Asian character. At Scarlett Johansson, they do try to make her look as Oriental as possible, and it is explained in a very, very. It's implied in the film that when okay, and there's no spoiler here. You figure it out. Obviously, that originally Scarlett Johansson's character was a human. She becomes cyborg, so predominantly robotic with a human brain, and that's shown in the first 10 minutes. So I'm not spoiling it, but and that's thus the ghost in the shell.
Yeah,
but
the ghost being like a kind of the soul,
Sure.
like the ghost. Yeah.
But where it becomes implied is when she starts delving into a past, trying to figure out who she is, and it's suggested but never explicitly said that they anglified the robot so they wouldn't be recognized by their own family, and that's implied with, not said but implied in the interaction she has with other humans as the movie goes on, which you would understand. Like, clearly, if they're shaping a robot to a human's vision of themselves, they'd have to change it slightly so they didn't look exactly like they would, otherwise their relatives would recognize them. But given that the movie is set in Asia, there are only 2 characters of note that are of Asian extraction. There is the Major's general, I guess, the general, her commander, who ironically is the only one that speaks in Asian in the whole film.
And everyone understands. But
and everyone understands. It was really, it was almost like a big fuck you to the Asian community. And then there was one of her colleagues who has a bit part to say the best. Like, he has some speaking roles and that's about it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, every other character of note is Western, or there were more African Americans in this film than there were Asians with significant roles.
So it's not really whitewashing; it's getting rid of Asian type of thing.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But given that this, I'm not going to. Don't set me up like that and let me walk into a minefield. I'm not going to fucking do it, Charles. Nice try, no bonus points. So basically, it's set in Asia. Most of the characters are Asian. They have Asian names, but they're all either Caucasian or African American. Or masked. But even still, for me, it transcended whitewashing. It was a snub to the people that wrote and produced this initial film. They're all nearly, I would say, 99% Asian people that actually originally wrote and drew these cartoons and did the voiceovers. And in this film, the Asian community is actually more like 1.5 characters.
Or they're the bad people. They feel like in the
exactly all the villains.
Yeah,
are Asian.
The bad henchmen.
All the guys that got shot.
Yeah.
They didn't actually say anything. They were literally cannon fodder.
Like in the bar, like all the guy that gets shot, like pretty much useless, just henchmen of the villain.
Where was it shot? I wonder.
The pervert in the But the pervert in the nightclub.
When she wasn't built to dance.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Oh my god. Anyway, I mean, okay, so that was my issue with the film, gratuitous whitewashing.
Yeah.
That being said, the cinematography is exquisite.
Oh yeah.
I generally, like, for me, I won't go see a Transformers film that's just CGI to CGI. There was elements of this film that I was consistently unsure what was CGI and what was real, and not so much. When I say real, I meant like actual footage, not digitally created. I found myself watching stuff and wondering if the director had, in fact, used real material and then CGI'd on top of it, because it was so elegant and so natural in its form. I mean, Leo, you've got much more experience in this area. And how did you interpret
Well,
what
that's
you're watching?
when I walked into the film, I thought it would just be a massive CGI fest. Because especially bringing the world of the original would require a lot of CGI, because we just can't rebuild those things.
Yeah.
But what really did impress me, and as you picked up, is how much, although pretty much every shot had CGI, that they always try to throw props in there. You know, they tried to build the world, and it helped blend the CGI so much. I felt it when there was just CGI. Like, there's a scene when she's in the ocean. I was like, too much CGI. But for example, the geisha robot in the beginning, this is not a spoiler, you'll know it when you see it. To see that they really built that.
Yeah, all animatronics. Yeah.
Fantastic.
They've done like an awesome
a
job.
lot of effort went into keeping pieces real props.
Yeah.
That robot I talked about in the beginning, just so the actor wouldn't faint, because that was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
They managed to make a mask full of tiny little fans. They wouldn't touch the actor's face, but were close up against it, just so the actor wouldn't faint.
Wow.
The effort of that, to not just CGI, which they could have, and people would have let it go, the general public, but no, they put their effort into it.
It
There's
is a
plenty of
very,
scenes
very
like that.
elegant, visually elegant piece of
Yeah.
cinematography, and
Well,
and
the costumes.
yeah,
So many good costumes, and
Yeah.
building just the props of the world, of what the future of 1995 was.
Yeah.
You know? They kept to that. The cars, they're all reinterpretations of cars from 1995, futurized. They
Wow.
didn't change
I
that.
didn't
That's
know
what
that.
I
That's
really
really
loved.
cool.
It made me so happy.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
car of the main guy, you know, like looks like
It
a
was like a
DeLorean,
DeLorean.
you know, like the future
Yeah,
car.
actually, no, in hindsight, I didn't. I was. It's such a spectacular. I could watch it several times. That being
same.
said, it's
I
got a
could
lot of
watch it
negative,
again.
reviews. It's not selling tickets.
It's for because of the purist, you know, the but the thing is, you know, when they do a remake of an anime or something like this, you know, they kind of doing it for the general public that maybe would not.
Yeah, but this is a big difference between Ghostbusters, the female fucking version. They're remaking a cartoon in life,
Yeah,
which I
but-
think is a mammoth task and an honourable task in itself.
Sure, and the way they did it, you know, it's very, very good. But I think like all the critics come from the fact that there's maybe they didn't reach like something as deep as the anime, you know, gets you. But you know, it's not everybody that can watch an anime. It's nice for them to do a live action movie that people would never watch an anime or something complicated like Ghost in the Shell had the chance to have a glimpse of what it could be, and maybe from the movie decide to watch the anime and get a good experience out of it. Yeah.
The scene for me that really made me understand the Major is when she goes to the prostitute, and you could see how all these years as being a robot, she'd become dehumanized, and she was craving this connection with somebody, because she's the first of what's to come, but she's alone in this, you know. And the prostitute says, "What are you?" and she can't even answer. And I just think that was really, really poignant. Is that in the actual original, that scene?
Yeah, but they try to as well the way they design her, you know, like in the anime, is even if she has boobs, you know, like you try to forget about the gender, the way she behaves and things like this, you know, like she's even in gender, in the way she talks about things, and you know, like she's not even sure what
Actually,
she is
that's
anymore.
really, really interesting, because what I
That's a very
noticed,
good point.
about, and when you go to the film, watch this, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. She walks like a man.
Yeah.
The character in the Major walks like a man, and I'm quite sure that's something the director told her to do, is just walk like a man. And
Yeah, because
she clunks around with absolutely no finesse, like you would expect of a robot, but it's quite masculine. And it really struck me how her movements were so unfeminine.
Yeah, because they try
But I
to.
was very
She,
trained that you could tell. They
she,
really
she
worked
Did
on
that strike you as well? I know. It's ring. I really noticed.
because the character, like, she doesn't know what she is, even to a gender point of view. So
Wow. Anyway, I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. Could have they done it better? Yeah, maybe.
well, you can
one
always
thing I
do
want to
something.
complain, and I'll warn here. It's maybe a bit of a spoiler, but I'll try to say it as unspoilery as possible.
Unspoilery?
The,
Did you
uh,
just create a new word?
Unspoilerishly.
I'm just going to
Unspoilery.
call Macquarie University and let them know that their dictionary needs updating. Leo's been at it again, guys. Unspoilery. No, stop laughing.
Unspoilery
No,
spoiler.
no, stop laughing. It's serious. Unspoilery. Okay, I'm going to call back when you're finished. Okay.
I want to say when the movie did start to disappoint me
Mhm.
was the introduction of what was meant to be, at least from the beginning of the film, the villain. Because that's where I believe the message of the film that was emphasized so well in the original cartoon gets lost and kind of just blown over. You'll see it, but they tried to put the message in there, but it just didn't come across. It's
Yeah.
a very powerful message.
Okay, so I need to see the original.
You do. I
Yeah.
believe it makes you want to watch the original, actually.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that I can't watch this again. I would happily sit down and rewatch the live action Ghost in the Shell.
It's true. Like the
I
villain
think it's
part.
a great compliment to the original still.
It's true. The villain part is yeah. I know what you mean. You don't really know enough of the grand master plan until the very end. And that's almost finished already. So.
Pretty much. And don't feel like it was explained as well.
Yeah, but so outside of the movie, let's talk about the world. If we reach that point of being, have the chance to get enhanced by cybernetic equipment, would you be interested, or like their eyes, or
Well, I think it's inevitable.
Would you lose?
I feel like it's where we're going. I just hope
Okay, I guess
we'll
if
get to have
if
it.
you have an
Why not?
accident and you lose a limb, you'd be happy to get it replaced from something that would work well and give you a hand or a leg
Well,
again.
they're
but-
already
As
doing
long
that. They're
as
already
I can
doing
put
that.
one
But would-
compartment in there to keep my beer cool, just like to keep one beer. meal
But
all
would you
time
get
as
rid
well. I'd love
of
that.
get actually a limb cut to to get something else instead?
Would you remove something that was functional?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, don't fix it if it's not broken. But I mean, you're going to
Yeah,
age.
it depends what they're offering me here. If I can get the pinky that's a Swiss Army knife and still looks like a pinky, it could be pretty useful.
Yeah, I lose a lot of phones. So if you could put a phone in my hand, that way I can get really drunk and not lose my phone. Apple, if you're out there, I hear iPhone 7's shit because you can't even connect your headphones to it. Like if you
Yeah.
want to.
I'm sorry.
So,
Man, what a lucky-
iPhone 8, where it's just like my hand, and I'm not going to lose it. Awesome. Even if you had the shitty like detached headphones, whatever, that would be sweet.
I think if they can make your hand a phone, they probably can put implants in your ear without you to be able to listen to things.
Yeah, but
without
I've got a dial.
Yeah, but then to hear your music, for example, like stream straight to your ears.
Oh, that's not far away. Come on.
I think that's where we're going. I
So,
think that's another
Bring
good
on the
thing about film.
nanobots. That's what I'm all about.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's like
He signed up already.
Yeah. This.
He's on the nanobot
It's
wait
like
list.
it's like when you wake up and you had a big night out and you're like, Barocca or nanobots? Glass of nanobots and I'm all good to go. Yeah, wash it down with a bottle of vodka. Yeah, awesome.
That's actually one scene I really like. Where, like, you got another upgrade. This in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, I can keep drinking all night. Like, that's a pretty good upgrade, man.
Cheers to that. So, let's give it a rating out of 10.
Okay, out of 10,
7.
I'd say for Ghost and Shell fans, I'd say 7.5. Otherwise, also 7.
See, I was going to say 8, just because it's everything old. It's been reinvented, and I think it's just beautiful. It really is a beautiful, beautiful piece of cinema. So, I'm going to say 8.
Well, fair enough. There's some memorable scenes. So
I would have said
Good
7,
choice.
but then I've got like 2 hours of Scarlett Johansson in a bodysuit, so you get an extra point. It's good.
I prefer ScarJo as a Black Widow than the Major.
Now, before we go, let's talk about the world real quick. I have to say, I really appreciated this nostalgia of Blade Runner mixed with feeling of Matrix, which is what's great that it came around full circle. I feel like this remake was actually interpreted by the visuals of the Matrix movie.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
That's
So
what I
they've
really felt watching it. You
they've
know?
taken back what's been borrowed.
Exactly.
Nice.
It was this little circle, and they did a great job. The world didn't just feel plastic or like it had to be there to get the story going. It was a very fleshed out world. You're watching it, and maybe you don't believe that we're ever going to be like that.
Is
But
there going to be a
you
sequel?
feel it.
Because it's open to it.
Where there's money, there's a sequel.
I'm hoping not. I really don't think
I
we
think
need
it was,
to go
I
down.
think it was good cutting where it was.
I mean, it's nice to have that option open, but yeah, I don't think I should go back down there.
But it was great to see.
If they have a good story, you know, if they make a sequel because they have the money for it but not the story for it, that'd be a fiasco for sure. But if someone comes with a good story, this world offers a lot of good opportunities, you know. But I hope what makes Ghost in the Shell so great is, you know, like all the significance between the struggle of like what is human, you know, is digital information like could be like AI could be considered as someone even if it's created by data or thing like this, you know, all these things of what is life, what is soul, what is you, what is not you, you know. If they take your brain and put it in the machine, is it still you, or you need your body to be you, or and all the thinking. So I'm not sure.
So it's a lot of esoteric philosophical questions.
After that, you know, like they can't do a sequel that would bring you a deep thinking like this on the same theme. So I think that would lose a little bit of what Ghost in the Shell is supposed to represent. So
was there an anime sequel?
There was, and the anime sequel, which I haven't seen, is actually apparently just as good. It's called the.
So it sounds like that door is firmly open.
Renaissance?
Yeah.
No, it's Ghost in the Shell 2.0 Renaissance or something else.
Standalone complex, I believe.
That's the TV show, the standalone complex.
Oh, then I know it's Ghost in the Shell 2. I know that.
It's 2.0.
2.0. Well, there we go. Might do that next.
Oh, well, looks like there is going to be a sequel then. I'd say it's already written. It's already sitting there.
It depends how much money it makes. That's how Hollywood works.
Yeah, it's not really doing too well.
It's a shame because I don't see why not. I find it more interesting than a lot of the other Marvel films that are coming out. It was actually great seeing Scarlett.
I think people don't want to think. People don't want to think. They look upon it as being almost like a foreign film.
There's got to be some thinkers out there. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not.
Oh, Lord. We're going to call that a wrap right there before someone starts quoting, I don't know, the Dalai Lama next. Thanks for joining us tonight on YouShallPodcast. We're going to be back next week with Donga Darcy. Seriously, wear a flak jacket and a helmet. This guy's dangerous. Adios, amigos. Ciao.
See ya. Bye.